Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's Christine with Gauge Girl Training, an online meal planning and coaching service. I'm a food scientist and chemical engineer, and in today's video, we are going to talk about ingredients you should avoid in your protein powders. So let's get started. So for those of you guys who don't know, I have been in the dietary supplement industry since 2009. And during that time, I served as a food scientist in several different manufacturing plant capacities, as well as a consultant to brands and companies who were looking to develop supplements. And in doing so, you guys, I have formulated and created thousands of products that are sold all over the world, all different types of distribution chains and whatnot. And I want to open your guys' eyes in terms of what you should be looking for when you read a supplement fact panel regarding a protein supplement. So the first thing, and this is where a lot of people get duped by creative marketing, is the percent protein. That is the number one thing you want to be looking for. When you're buying a protein supplement, I am holding up my line of products, the Gauge Life supplement nutrition line, which you guys can find on gaugelife.com. You need to look at the label. You need to look at the total grams of protein, which will be listed per serving, and the serving size. In order to figure this out, you take that value, so grams of protein per serving. In here we have 25 grams of protein per serving, and the serving size, 28.4. So you take 25 divided by 28.4. We get 0.88. So 0.88 times 100, that means this product is 88% protein, which is fantastic. And you want to be looking for products that are north of 80% protein. Now, if the product is less than 80% protein, that means you got to be thinking, what's that remaining 20%? It's most likely carbohydrates and fat. And when you invest in a protein supplement, you want the protein. You can always add carbs to a shake. You can always add fats to a shake. Protein is the expensive part. Protein is the stuff you want. So be careful and do the calculation and always ask yourself what the percent protein is, because you might see some stuff online, you might see something on sale, it might sound like a good idea, but if it's not at least 80% protein, you are being ripped off and it is a waste. You might as well just be eating like egg whites or chicken. It's not really that advantageous to you. Number two, you want to read the fine print and you want to see what your protein powder was instantized with. So proteins are powders, and these powders are ready to mix. So if you put it into water, it would disperse. However, they are not naturally that way. They become ready to mix and dispersible because they are instantized, and they are instantized after the way protein has been concentrated and filtered. It is spray dried in a tall tower, and it is spray dried with typically soy lecithin. And that soy lecithin is sprayed all over the particles so that way it will disperse. Now, soy, there are a lot of folks who can't handle soy. There are a lot of folks who are paleo. There are a lot of folks who have hormone imbalances and don't really want to be dealing with soy. And yes, it is in the lecithin form, but you probably want to stay away from this if you have an allergy to soy, if you have a reason to avoid soy, because there's a lot of folks who do have technical reasons to do so. So there are products that have been instantized with sunflower lecithin, and that is why specifically my brand, I do not instantize anything with soy. All of my products are instantized with sunflower lecithin with regard to my whey protein. That is a very intentional choice, and that is why it is a superior product. So you want to read the label and make sure that it was not instantized with soy lecithin, because that's a cheaper product and a lot of folks want to stay away from soy. Now, the next thing is the sweetener. Now, I am a purist when it comes to sweeteners for several reasons. I lean towards the natural sweeteners. I'll explain the reasons why. So sweeteners that are considered natural are stevia, monk fruit, actual pure fructose, like actual table sugar is natural in that form. Lohango, these are natural and things that are perfectly fine. Now, things you want to avoid when it comes to sweeteners, you want to read the fine print and make sure that there are no artificial sweeteners. Things like sucralose, which is also sold under the trade name Splenda. You want to stay away from acesulfame potassium, also known as ACE-K. Those are typically the main ones. These are man-made sugars made with, they do have a chemical aftertaste, and there is limited safety data on that. You don't need those in your protein, you don't need them in your body. The one reason why I am pretty gung-ho about staying away from sucralose, it's an engineered sugar, which is 600 times the sweetness of natural sugar. Now, granted, there is a very tiny bit in there, but here's the thing. The reason why sucralose works is because it is sucrose. It is a regular sugar, but it has chlorine atoms bound to it. And when it is digested through your body observes that as a poison due to the chlorine atoms being bound to the sucrose molecule. Now, your body naturally excretes that, and that's why the calories don't count. You're technically eating the full sugar, but your body says, oh boy, we need to get this out of here. So from a safety perspective, that's just not something I am comfortable with in my body, and which is why I don't include those things in my products. Now, my products, which you guys will find, they are not as sweet as other brands, but they have a natural sweetness to them, and that's intentional, and it's not for everybody. So I just want you guys to know that. Okay, the next thing you want to avoid is you want to stay away from things that have artificial colorants, specifically things that are FD&C, that stands for food, drug, and cosmetic grade colorants. Now, these colorants are tested on animals, and you will find trace amounts in heavy metals in just about a lot of those things. So they put those in to make your strawberry protein look like pinkish red or your banana protein yellow. And for me, that's a no thanks. Like, I prefer my proteins to be as natural as possible. I do not need to be seeing bright colors. Now, the only exception with that is going to be with a chocolate protein, where it will have color due to the cocoa powder, which is natural. All right, so number 5, the next thing you want to look for is transparency in the formulas. So specifically, you want to avoid any product that says proprietary blend, proprietary matrix. You guys, the thing is, there's nothing proprietary when it comes to this other than actual flavors and flavor houses. That's definitely something proprietary, but you want to know the actual dosages of active ingredients you are taking. When I see proprietary formulas, especially since I've been in the industry for so long, to me, that's a red flag that they are trying to dilute your product by putting, you know, some good ingredients in there. But when it's a proprietary formula, it's more of a mask to just put smaller doses of the good stuff and kind of wax over it by just doing a lump sum of the amount that's in the proprietary blend. So you should be able to ask the company, you know, what are the breakdowns and what are the dosages of the active ingredients, because that's something that's very important and that you should know and you should have full transparency and access to as a consumer. So I would avoid companies and products that do the whole proprietary blend thing, because it is a lot of bogus BS. The next thing you want to look for on every supplement you take, make sure you see the location of the manufacturer. It must be made in the United States. It must state legally where it is manufactured. And if you do not see that on there, like, that's a red flag to run, because there are lots of people doing knockoff nonsense of things that are of questionable quality. So always make sure that you see the actual location of where the product was manufactured. That needs to be there. I do not take that lightly. And last but not least, you want to be careful with sugar alcohols. Specifically, small doses of erythritol is okay. That is a sugar alcohol, but you want to be very careful. It does have a low glycemic index, but anything else, sorbitol, xylitol, mannitol, things in that with have the OL in it and it is a sugar alcohol, they definitely will upset your gut. They will have you on the toilet. Like, it's better to almost just have higher carbs and even go back to the having a lower percent protein per serving if you're gonna have all this nonsense in there. So be very careful when reading labels. If you have questions about a specific product, a label, about how to interpret a label, comment below, let me know, and I'd be happy to help you guys out. But if you do want to try out my supplement line, I'd be happy to share more information with you guys. You guys can visit gaugelife.com, gaugelife.com. And for watching this video, you guys can receive an additional $10 off with code GL10. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.